All right, problem 28. It says, in parallelogram ABCD, shown below, diagonals AC and BD intersect at E. And then we have this weird part down here. It says, prove angle ACD is congruent to angle CAB. And that's the question. This proof, that tells me, hey, I'm going to make what we call a statement and reason proof. It's two columns. So we have statements on one side and our reasons for saying those statements, for making those statements. And they want us to prove that. Let's put this into our diagram. Let's show this is what we're looking for. We're looking for angle A to C to D. We're looking for, we'll do it in red. That way it's a little bit easier to see. This right here, this angle needs to be congruent to CAB. So from C down to A over to B. And right there, you can see what we have. If the top line DC, if that was parallel to the bottom line AB, what you'd have is alternate interior angles, which is a angle property. Angles formed by parallel lines. That's big idea number 30. But if we look in the question, nowhere in there do they tell us we have parallel lines. Right? The only thing they told us is that the shape we have is a parallelogram. That's big idea 36. So, listen to the name parallelogram. If we look at the properties of parallelogram, the first one we see is, hey, you've got parallel sides. So proofs always start with what they give you. And the thing that they give us is exactly what we need. The first thing they tell us is that ABCD is a parallelogram. And we're going to use that, right? Parallelogram. But we got to write it down. That's, hey, you told us that. So how do we know that? Why? What's our reason for saying this? You gave it to us. It was given. Okay, well, now that we know parallelogram, now that we know we have that shape, all of these facts are unlocked. So if you want to use one of them, you've got to make that statement. Right? And the one we want to use is the first one. We want to say, hey, we have some parallel sides. And the sides that we're interested in is this one on top. We want to say that side DC is parallel to side AB. Okay? That's what we want to say. Well, why are we allowed to say that? We're literally allowed to say that because that's a property of parallelogram. Okay, we can say property of parallelogram. So when they read this, they're like, oh yeah, they have a parallelogram. They told us that. Oh, they're using one of those properties. Okay. Well, if I've got parallel lines, I can now say the very thing I was looking to do. Because look, I've got parallel lines, boom, here and here, cut by a transversal. Therefore, I know this angle here, the one we're looking for, and this angle here, the other one we're looking for, they have to be congruent. We're essentially proving what they just said. And our reason will be big idea number 30, that look, angles formed by parallel lines, certain ones have to be congruent, and these are alternate interior. So we're going to say our statement is what they're asking us to prove. So it's going to be angle ACD is congruent, and I'm just copying it, angle CAB. Well, why were we allowed to say that? Well, we're allowed to say that because alternate interior angles formed by parallel lines are congruent. And that's it. We've created a logical argument that shows that the angles they asked us to prove are congruent must be congruent.